So we will now go into our balls segment. We're going to go over the bracket and teeing up the bracket talk. Here's a quick word from our friends over at Rithmm. You already know March is filled with unpredictability. We were just talking about that, how unpredictable March can be. Thrilling upsets and madness all around. But what if AI could help you craft an awesome bracket and win some bets? Enter Rithmm, the AI sports betting app for player props and game picks. Rithmm is at the forefront of innovation, offering sports enthusiasts a cutting-edge tool to elevate their March Madness experience. You're going to get the Rithmm app, and you will see it leverage data sets, historical trends, player statistics, and much more to help craft the perfect bracket and picks for you. If you're listening to this before the brackets lock up, you can go to the Rithmm app and use their AI bracket generator tool. Interesting stuff. A couple of our podcasts use that to generate their brackets. But of course, use the Rithmm app to learn more about the wagers that you should play. If you head to the link in our bio and on House Enterprise, you can sign up free to build your perfect bracket and help you conquer March. Whether that's the bracket, whether that's just the picks, head on over to Rithmm, Rithmm, create your account, figure out which picks you should play, and win big. As a disclaimer, House Enterprise and Rithmm are not responsible for any lost wages on any picks that you make. Please gamble responsibly. Find the help if you need it. Download the Rithmm app, Rithmm. Help yourself conquer March Madness. Okay, speaking of conquering March Madness, went through, I had a lot of iterations of my bracket that I did not love. Had a lot of help from Rithmm, but did not love wherever I got to. I'm in a better place with where I'm at now. So how do we want to go through this here? Do we want to go maybe by regions, or what do we want to do?
Let's see. I think, I don't know, maybe favorite upsets from each region that we like, and then talk about our final fours, because I don't want to go through the whole bracket.
I agree. Why don't you go first, Hondo?
So this is a year that, like I mentioned in the beginning, I did not listen to a lot of the noise. I think that there was too much analytics involved in a sport that, yes, has become following the NET and Ken Palm and all of these statistics and yada, yada, yada. When it comes to the bracket, it is really anybody's game. And we saw a 16 seed make the upset, and it's upset city. On the flip side, I think this is the first year where it's like maybe all four number one seeds could be in the final four, which is such a chalk pick, or 3 1s and a 2 and 2 1s and a 2 and stuff like that. There's just a lot of talent, and that gap is starting to widen. I think half of it is NIL. I think half of it is also just that mid-majors aren't as strong as they might see. In terms of upsets, I like a lot in the first couple rounds, just based off of watching these teams, seeing them the past couple weeks, and the matchups. My favorite I'll go around the horn. I like Duquesne over BYU. Obviously, they had a special little A10 run. Their coach is retiring after the end of the season. I'm a big Narrative Nation guy. I think that puts some perspective into this. BYU also got a little favoritism for being in the East region because they don't play on Sundays. So if they advanced, they had to play in a bracket that was not playing on Sundays. So that's what put them there. So I like that upset. Right. My favorite upsets of the entire tournament is down in the West. Grand Canyon and Charleston. I have them both passing through. St. Mary's, people are very bullish on them. I don't think they're that talented of a team, and the same goes for Gonzaga over on the Midwest side. And the Lopes have been very hot. We did not get enough of them last year. So I think the purple logo and the Grand Canyon University Lopes do advance. And same with Charleston. Alabama's a little banged up. They're not playing to the potential that they should have been, especially with, falling throughout the rankings this year. I think New Mexico is criminally underrated. And going back to another Mountain West team, I think Nevada upsets Dayton. Dayton has not played strong, especially in an A10 tournament that they should have won. I think Oregon over South Carolina is a sneaky upset. I like Samford over Kansas because Kansas is just banged up right now. And this, bucky ball that everyone keeps talking about is pretty electric to watch. I like Will Wade's McNeese State over Gonzaga. And give me JMU over Wisconsin as the final upset.
Banking on Michael Green, former Bryant point guard, a Duke.
Crazy. Someone's got to represent the small town in Smithfield.
What if the Dukes played Duke next round?
Could happen.
Could happen.
It definitely could happen.
I think also Vermont could upset Duke too. I think Duke could be a fraudulent team.
I think Duke is fraudulent, but I don't think Vermont's as strong as they've been in the past.
No. That's Vermont's just a conference. Again, watching a lot of them this year. I mean, again, they should have lost to Albany. I believe the upset
Albany
was in the first round. Bryant Duke would have been a sick matchup. That would have been sick.
Bryant's not getting the 13th seed, though.
No, they would have been. I don't think they would have been a play-in, though.
They would have been a 16. I don't think they would have necessarily had to play in. Like, the Wagner is far worse than Bryant is, for sure.
UConn Bryant would have been a sick matchup in the East.
Fuck! I would have gone to that. The Phil Martelli revenge game after he talked shit to Hurley and Hurley clapped back at him.
Yeah. So out of Vermont and Colgate, who's the stronger dynasty right now?
Oh shit. I gotta take Colgate.
You think?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Vermont.
They've kept it so close. Did they have any wins? Did they beat what was the Keegan Records year where they almost beat somebody?
All right, so let's do blind resume.
Ooh, okay. Exciting.
Blind resume.
Some mid-major blind resume.
Since, let's see, 1995, you have a team that is 7 conference tournament champions, but they're 0-7. And then since 1995, 10 conference champions. And are 2-9, or sorry, 2-11 because they moved on to the next round.
They have 2 wins in the tournament.
They have 2 wins.
I feel like that's Vermont.
I felt like 0-7 is Vermont, and this next one is Colgate.
I think Colgate's sort of new age. That's my thought.
Colgate went 0-7.
Okay.
Vermont went 2-9.
All right.
How many Vermont?
They in 2005 as a 13 seed upset number 4 Syracuse.
That was a TJ Sorrentine game. Yeah.
In overtime, and then in 2012. In the first 4, 16 seed, they beat Lamar 71-59 and then lost to North Carolina 58-77.
So it's been a while.
In the past, so last year they lost to Marquette they were a 15. Marquette was a 2, 61-78. The year before that, as a 13 seed, they lost to number 4 Arkansas 71-75. That was a good game. 2019 as a 13th seed, they lost to Florida State 69-76. 2017, they lost to number 4 Purdue 70-80. Colgate, on the other hand, lost to Texas last year by 20, a 15-2. The year before that, they lost to number 3 seed Wisconsin by 7 points, 67-70. The year before that, they lost to Arkansas, 85-68, 3/14. 2019, they lost to Tennessee, 77-70. 15 2 seed.
All right. Well, Vermont it is then.
Vermont
Yeah,
is
I guess
definitely.
so. They do have they do have the iconic moment of beating Syracuse for them. I forgot about it. I shouldn't have. TJ Sorrentine is a hell of a guy, hell of a shot.
I was gonna say, who's the best player ever out of Vermont?
I would venture to say him. Probably TJ Sorrentine.
Anthony Lamb. He's a NBA G League champion. Went undrafted, but played for the Rockets and the Spurs and the Warriors.
I did not know he won.
He was a Vermont Catamount. Also an All-American. Obviously, TJ and Sorrentine. Who else?
I mean, do you count Raleigh Massimino, who was a Villanova coach before Jay Wright? I mean, that's a hell of a name. But he was a coach.
He's coach. I mean, Wagner, great. Dan Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
About Marcus Blakely.
Not a ton of options out of Colgate.
No.
Their best player. Oh, this is all just players that made the NBA. Their best ones draft year is NA. So, not sure what that means.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about with Bryant too. Like the best player might have been Peter Kiss.
Dougie Buckets.
BBB
fucking blows.
Podcast guest.
Dougie Buckets.
He has 4.7 points. Someone posted his resume. Eddard, yeah, he was on the bench this year at Bryant.
Oh, I think he can play one more year.
I think he can. I think he's got one more. Someone posted his resume this year and was like, "Oh my god,
he's got to boost that stock to play."
Well, no, everyone was like, "Oh, the downfall of Doug Eddard needs to be studied," and it's like, what do you mean? He went from a starter on a lower conference to a bench player in a better conference.
Study's over.
It's like Peters.
If Doug Eddard start, I bet you his stats would be much better, but he wasn't going to start at Bryant.
Me and Zimmer's high school gym was bigger than St. Peter's.
I watched Doug Eddard at his best game of the season came at UBS Arena on Long Island when they played Towson, and he had like 20 something points, and he was 100% from the free throw, and he sent the game to overtime and ultimately won it. So like he does have talent, but he doesn't start.
Yeah.
The best player out of Bryant has to be Peter Kiss. Brought us to the tournament first time ever.
I second.
Yeah, I mean, who the hell is playing professionally? Diami Starks? I have no idea. He's probably not playing anymore. Nobody good.
Sure.
We ventured very far from our bracket, but I liked it. It was good.
No, that was material. Yeah,
that was good. That was good. Jim, we'll go to you. Your favorite upsets?
Yeah.
And then
let's look at the East first. Not a ton out of the East. I like Drake over Washington State.
Drake is favored, by the way. Drake is -2.
All right. Well, really?
Yeah. Is that crazy?
That is crazy. Well, looking at it purely
yesterday on the DraftKings Sportsbook.
From a seeding standpoint, I like Drake. My heart is in the Missouri Valley Conference. Also, my heart is with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He got robbed of a spot. He would have been an instant tournament legend, and yeah, it sucks that he's going to miss out.
Did you watch Arch Madness this year in the MVC tournament?
A little bit, yeah.
St. Louis,
yeah. Down to the West, I'm riding with my Mountain West teams. I like New Mexico. I like Nevada, similar to Will. I think, like I said earlier in the show, I think they're criminally underseeded. This could be an interesting time for Colgate to get that first win. But I mean, Baylor's tough. Let's look at the South. I think James Madison over Wisconsin is a little too trendy, and Wisconsin like shoots the lights out of the ball. So I'm going to stay away from that one. I don't like Kentucky. Their defense is just so bad. Their defense is as atrocious as Virginia is on offense. So Oakland, I mean, this is your time. Take advantage of it. And then whoever wins Boise State, Colorado over Florida. I like the 10-7s this year. I'm big on the 10-7s. Finally, the Midwest. McNeese is the other trendy one that I'm actually going to go with. Something about Will Wade. He needs to get out of there and get a P5 job again.
Facts.
True.
Why did he get blackballed?
FBI recruiting stuff.
Yeah, recruiting stuff. It was all recruiting stuff. Will Wade, American gangster.
Isn't Dayton in the middle of a point shaving scandal?
Yes.
Is that with Anthony Grant though? Like, was he the coach when is this recent? When were they doing the point shaving? I guess is the better.
I feel like I just heard about it recently.
I just heard about it too.
Yeah.
Like, were they doing the point shaving with the current brass?
What is it? Was it Dayton or is it a different team?
No, I think it is Dayton. Yeah.
Let's find out.
If not, it's some red team.
Oh no, it was Temple.
Temple, yes,
because Temple was in the AAC the American Championship.
Yeah, also former A10 team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finishing it up. Creighton. I was scared of Creighton all season. Going over to Omaha is just frightening. It's just like something, I don't know, something about the Akron Zips. Does that not sound like a team that's like, you're gonna look back in history and be like, yeah, dude, the Akron Zips. They pulled off some miraculous Elite Eight run.
Zips.
And then Colorado State over Texas, like I said, the 10-7s in my Mountain West schools. Yeah, so those are my big upsets. Yeah, a little more conservative this year than past years. I feel like I've always tried to predict like a 15 over a 2, but I'm gonna stay away from that this year.
Yeah, I feel you. I've got a relatively chalky bracket. I do have JMU making a run to the Sweet 16. Wisconsin does scare me. I'm not gonna lie. They got a very bad draw because if they could have played Gonzaga, I would have loved that. If they could have played San Diego State, I do think they would have beat San Diego State first round too. If they could have played St. Mary's, love that one. Love me that one. And I actually may, at the time this was done, I have St. Mary's beating Grand Canyon in the West, but I think I may actually change that to Grand Canyon because they look really good. Kentucky scares me, to your point. I don't love... they were one of the teams that I consistently just had a crisis on if I was going to put them above 20 in the top 25 this year. Their losses are weird. They lost to A&M twice. Which A&M's a good team. Don't want to take anything away from them.
Yeah,
but that's 2 losses against a team that they want to be the number 12 in the nation. You got to win those games. They lost to LSU. They lost to Florida. Who else did they lose to? They had a bad loss to UNC Wilmington, which is a team that it's like, you run the tempo against them. They score 80, you score 73. I mean, come on. You can't let a team that just pushes the tempo drop 80 points on you and lose that game.
To be fair, Wilmington was the 1 seed in the CAA.
Yeah, they didn't win, though.
I know.
What the hell does that have to do with it? Yeah, hey, Oakland, cool. If they want to go on a run, fine. But NC State is just one of those teams that I think has the cojones to go to the Sweet 16 this year.
What's that guy's name? DJ Burns? Is that him, the big man?
Shit, on NC State.
Yeah, said he studied. Who'd he study? He studied whatever big man, but he turned out like Zach Randolph.
DJ Burns Jr.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's fun to watch.
I have really liked Casey Morsell over the years. Like when they went on their run last year, when they were sort of in the mix. And I also think Kevin Casey is just a good coach. They feel like they're just sort of on this tear right now, and I don't expect it to let up until they play Marquette. So I have NC State beating Texas Tech. I have NC State beating Kentucky in the next round, and then I have Marquette putting an end to that. So I have James Madison beating Duke, of course, in the South. So I have a Sweet 16 in the South. It's Houston, JMU, North Carolina State, and Marquette. Kind of weird. Doesn't sound good on paper. but I like their draws.
I got the DJ Burns quote right here. DJ Burns on his style of play. I watched a lot of Hakeem Olajuwon growing up. I just ended up with the body of Zach Randolph.
That's funny. I don't know what else is noteworthy here. The rest of it was kind of chalky. I don't see Drake beating Iowa State. I really don't.
No.
I see Drake. I do see them winning against Washington State, but I just think Iowa State is too good. I'm very conflicted by the East because all 4 of the top 4 teams, would I be shocked if anyone's standing there at the end of it? No. What I keep getting worried about is if UConn's going to, yes, they are the best team in this field, but, who's the most likely to make them choke? I don't think it's Auburn, even though Bruce Pearl's done great. I don't know that it's Iowa State. I just think they're young. I think TJ Otzelberger sort of needs to earn his stripes, but if it would win against UConn, I mean, that's huge.
It might be Illinois.
The team that scares me is Illinois. That's the team that I think did the best in the. Well, obviously they went on to win the Big Ten, but they also just played the most comfortably. They had the best draw in the Big Ten, but man, that was a team that no one was stopping, and I worry that for the Connecticut Huskies this year.
I think if we're talking East bracket, a team that I wish got a different draw because I think they would make an upset run is Yale. I don't think they're strong enough to beat Auburn, but if you look at where the other 13 seeds are, going down the list, I think they could beat a St. Mary's team if they were in the West. I think they could beat a Kansas because of the injury right now. And where's the 13 in the
Duke in the South?
They could dance with Duke.
Yeah, Duke's on potential fraud watch.
I don't know. Yale just doesn't have that sex appeal that they did last year. The year before. Was in last year. I feel like every year Yale comes around. It's like, oh, I don't know, Yale, you better watch out. I just don't think they're as good, to be honest.
I'm a little heartbroken for Brown. They made such a run in that tournament.
That was brutal. It
was a hell of a run, but I have no sympathy. I did not.
That was a tough one. Right? Tough one to watch.
I know it was. I was torn between Princeton and Cornell to win that conference, and I was wrong about both of them. I think the sex appeal from Princeton, talk about sex appeal, just stuck around with me this year.
It's the name of my first dog. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's true. R.I.P. Princeton. He was a good dog.
He was a good dog. No, he wasn't. He bit people.
Okay, let's go on. Let's go on to the Final Four. Who are your Final Four picks?
My Final Four is UConn, UNC, Houston, and Creighton.
Nice.
3 1s and a 3.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I mean, quick analysis on that. I mean, again, I picked UConn as my winner. I just think they're top to bottom such a strong team, and they have that appeal that could win it again. I think the West, because it's major upset city, UNC has a pretty easy path if the upsets that I picked go through, and they do have a lot to prove. I mean, Armando Bacot is playing in his 19th year of college ball, so
good for him.
I go into the Midwest. I want to say Purdue's better. I think I just have the recency bias that I don't think Zach Edey is that good outside of the Big Ten. For a conference that has had to play against him, they let him dominate. But when he plays non-conference and anybody outside of that, he becomes just too tall and too slow. I think Creighton can outmatch that. I was thinking Tennessee. Tennessee kind of worries me a little bit. I do, and again, might just be because I watch a lot of Big East basketball. Then the South, I want to just ride with Houston because it's like they have been such a dominant team this entire year, but it all kind of shakes out of what happens with this whole mess of NC State, Kentucky, Florida, and Marquette, or Boise State, Colorado State, and Oakland, Texas Tech, maybe even. There's a lot of blurred lines over there. So I had Kentucky pass through, just because I think Florida sneaks out an upset against Marquette. But I do think Kentucky gets its weaknesses shown against Houston.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fair. Who you got as the champion?
UConn over Houston.
UConn over Houston was that would be a hell of a title game.
Yeah, I think honestly that would be the most entertaining title game.
I agree.
My analysis behind it was pretty much for that matchup that Connecticut gets the last laugh for not being ranked over Houston throughout the entire season, and of course the repeat.
It's a hell of a storyline.
And then again, I'm just stuck on the fact that they don't have to travel far in their entire East bracket.
I know. It's Brooklyn, Boston, and then Phoenix or Scottsdale or whatever for the championship.
Yeah, but like the first week and a half.
Yeah. No, exactly. They're not moving except to play 2 games for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, these guys can make class if they wanted to.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better submit your homework, sir. Cam Spencer and Alex Caravan, you better turn in your essays.
And then again, I don't know. My thing is like when I also look at the brackets, because this is obviously your next audition for the NBA. There has just been a lot of talk of who these players, their entire starting lineup will probably be in the NBA. Now, again, we saw Adama Sanogo get pretty much, and all centers get blacklisted, going forward, even though they developed such a strong, I think centers are so important in college basketball, especially in the Big East. So I'm always surprised by that. I just like the matchup throughout the bracket and honestly the whole left side that I think anybody on UConn could wipe the floor with anybody on UNC.
Yeah, I think I'm with you because you throw even some of their big guys against Baycott and you've eliminated a sizable chunk of their scoring. Whereas UConn's a bit harder to defend because it just comes from different places at different times. One guy will get hot, Tristan Newton will get hot, and then everyone will start, putting more attention on him, and then all of a sudden it's Caravan, and then all of a sudden it's Cam Spencer raining 3. It's like, what the hell? What's going on? Yeah, it's nuts. Jim, you want to go next?
Sure. Ours are pretty similar. I got UConn out of the East, North Carolina out of the West, Houston out of the South, and out of the Midwest, I have Tennessee. I think the Midwest is an interesting one because you have Purdue and Tennessee, who are just, as of recent history, notorious chokers. And this is like contingent on Tennessee not pulling that first weekend choke like they've been known to over the past however many years. But in saying that, this is kind of Rick Barnes as well as Matt Painter, but so for both of them, but Rick Barnes' year to really push through. And also one of my coworkers is a big Tennessee fan, so I would like to see him not, on the ledge for once in his life. So out of those, I have UConn over North Carolina in the semifinal, as well as Tennessee over Houston for a UConn-Tennessee final, with UConn ultimately being the champion. Yes.
We're going to go 3 for 3 here.
We're going to go 3 for 3 here. Yeah. God damn.
I hate how chalky this is, but who else are you going to pick? This is the most dominant team that this sport has seen the past couple of years. And don't tell me it's Gonzaga. Don't tell me it's, any of the UNCs of the past couple of years. It's not. It's not. So my final 4 here. I've got UConn out of the East. I've got Baylor out of the West. And there's a couple of reasons why. I just look at Baylor's wins. And they feel like they've stepped up when it's mattered all year. I mean, you look at recently, huge game in Waco against Kansas a couple weeks ago. Kansas was 7 at the time. Baylor's sort of hanging out in the middle of the teens, and they beat them 82-74. Right? They take Houston to overtime just a week before that. They beat an Oklahoma team that's on the bubble. They knock them out. That's probably what knocked them out. They lost to Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse by 3. That says a lot to me. They beat Texas Tech, who's ranked, by 6. They beat Iowa State, who's ranked 12, by 2. There's just a Baylor team that's like they're clutch, right?
Those are some big wins, yeah.
Those are big wins, right? As long as they hold off Colgate, as stupid as that sounds, I think I do have New Mexico beating Clemson too. I think they beat New Mexico. I know New Mexico in the Sweet 16 is a sexy pick too. Not for me, right?
Richard Pitino.
Richard Pitino, the only Pitino in the tournament this year. I think Baylor's a better team than Arizona. Don't like Arizona's losses out in the Pac-2. And I think Baylor has the stones to beat the University of North Carolina. What worries me is that they also have the stones to beat UConn. That's what worries me a lot. But I refuse to take it. I'm going with my gut. Here. UConn beats Baylor to go to the national championship. On the other side, it is Marquette out of the South.
Nice.
And Purdue out of the Midwest. Look, I think Marquette, you saw what they did without Oso Ighodaro really being a good. I mean, he had a couple good games, but the majority of it, like against Providence, he was not good. Against Villanova, he wasn't that good. This is redemption time. And this is time for the kid to come out and play basketball. Take Marquette to knock off Houston. I'm a bit worried about like that big game intuition with Houston because they got the doors blown off them by Iowa State in the Big 12. I think Houston, do they win the championship? It's not out of the question for sure. And then Purdue, look, I'm going to get a lot of crap. Purdue's humbled. They got humbled by Wisconsin, who shot the lights out in that Big Ten semifinal. But I think hopefully this wakes some people up and, on the Purdue camp and says, holy shit, we need to start playing better. So I think, I'm just trusting my gut. I know Zach Edey would suck if he was 6'2", but he's 7'4". He doesn't have to worry about that. It's like Shaq would be, I saw a tweet today. It was like, Shaq, if he were 6'1", would be working at McDonald's. It's not wrong. It's the same with Edey. I think Purdue ultimately beats Marquette, and I've got UConn over Purdue in the national championship. Then all the Purdue lovers will shut up. And they'll say, okay, we made it to the tournament, or we made it to the championship fair and square, and UConn beat us. And that's my bracket.
Klingon versus Edey would be pretty epic.
It would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Klingon would just entirely eliminate him.
Yeah. There's also part of me that's thinking Purdue's on this Virginia track where Virginia lost to the 16 seed next year, wins the national championship. So the key to winning a national championship, it's a 2-year process. You have to lose to a 16 seed and then you win the national championship.
Yeah. Got to be in it for 2 years.
Yeah.
All the Purdue guys stuck around.
Yeah, playing the long. That's why Edey came back. He played a long game.
Fletcher Lawyer's still there. That's why the Smith kid's still there.
Yep.
I think we just cracked the code.
All right. So we're all chalk.
This is a very chalky bracket this year.
Well, if this matters to you, Jake, Alex Bregman has Colgate beating Baylor and then New Mexico winning the whole championship over Houston.
Fuck Alex Bregman.
Okay.
Future
That's
Yankee
so
Alex
random.
Bregman.
Why is he doing
What's his
that?
New Mexico?
Did he go there?
No, he went to LSU.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's so weird. All right.
No
Is
idea.
he from there?
Really odd.
Is Alex
I'm
Bregman from
just
there?
looking at all of the March Madness brackets that are getting posted from like the main account.
I just don't like
He's
how
from New
chalky
Mexico.
everybody's
He's from New
bracket
Mexico.
is.
All right.
Yeah, but it's funny that he picked over Houston.
I know him. Yeah, I was talking more about the wide variety of people they picked for this. Like wild group. First of all, they got Jimmy Fallon, Stephen A. Smith, Weston McKennie, American soccer hero, Shea Mooney from Dan and Shay. He picked Tennessee, in case anyone was wondering. Max Homa picked Arizona.
Everybody just picked their home state.
Pretty much.
I know, basically. And Paolo Banchero picked Duke.
ooh.
It's a really shitty take. But
Jimmy Fallon picked UConn. Shea Mooney picked Tennessee.
Wow, Luca Garza, Iowa legend, picking Purdue.
Ooh,
That'll
hurts.
ruffle some feathers.
Yeah. I mean, who can't? I mean, I guess not a Big Ten team or Iowa State.
Hey,
Puka Nacua.
Biden picked UConn.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I know. So did Obama.
Obama.
Puka Nacua picked Houston.
Evander Holyfield picked UConn.
Michael
Holyfield.
I'm a little concerned about these picks. Who's
Michael
concerned
Harris
about
of the Braves picked Texas Tech.
Okay.
But Dr. Pimple Popper did pick UConn, so it's okay.
All right. We got Dr. Pimple Popper riding with us.
Gunnar
Joey
Henderson
from The Bachelor.
Gunnar Henderson picked Auburn.
Dude, who let Drew Timmy pick Gonzaga? Who let him vote?
Austin Eckler picked Gonzaga.
Fucking bald ass.
Bobby Witt Jr. picked Iowa State.
I think he's from
And
Iowa.
of course, Bijan Robinson has to pick Texas.
Joey Votto picked Purdue.
That feels like a Canadian thing. Oh, Zach Edey. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Mac McClung, Texas Tech. Too bad they're going to lose first round.
Doug Eder picked UConn.
Yeah.
Shit.
Who did he pick to?
I don't like
he had St. Peter's upsetting Tennessee, but then losing to Texas.
Oh, damn. I was hoping to the UConn St. Peter's final.
What are some other good ones?
Kyle Busch picked UConn too.
What business does he have picking?
I have no idea. His final four was UConn, Alabama, Houston, and Creighton. Is that a stretch? No, it's not.
No, that's like, if I had more balls this year, that's like a final four I would pick.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Mac McClung picked Texas Tech.
Did he transfer there?
He transferred.
Yes, he transferred from Georgetown to Texas Tech.
Okay.
Right. Andy Katz, BBB podcast guest, picked UConn.
I think multiple times.
That's looking up. That's looking better.
Yeah.
Guessed.
I mean, there's no wrong way to pick UConn. There's just no saying that it's going to be clipped after this. They're going to get upset by freaking.
They're going to lose to
Stetson. Stetson is listening to this right now. They are.
FAU's going to beat him the next round after everyone talked shit about it.
I am kind of excited for the last year's Final Four gauntlet to hopefully happen though between FAU. We get FAU, then we get.
I'm really surprised that they didn't do the 16 play-in for to UConn. Because Wagner UConn would have been sick.
That'd be cool. Hurley's old squad.
That would have been sick.
Also, a revenge game for UConn from 2016, November 2016, losing to them in the home opener.
Oh, wow.
When we were ranked 24 in the nation at Gamble.
Oh, God. Well, yeah. The year before, it was against Bryant, I believe. Or no, it was 2 years.
So.
2 years
I was there, and it sucked, so that's why I know. But
trying to think of the most obscure person. I mean, Grant Williams picked Houston. And Kyle Guy from Virginia picking UConn. That was interesting.
I would love to see the most obscure. Is there trends on the tracker of most picked upsets?
I don't think they're out.
I mean, it's got to be JMU, Wisconsin.
I mean, Drake. Drake, Washington State has to be number one. Drake's the favorite.
Yeah.
They're favored by a point and a half.
Well, no. I'm not even saying I'm not saying by betting terms. I'm saying
I know you're talking about what America thinks.
Yeah, 85% of the people pick St. Peter's over Tennessee or some shit like that.
I'd be very alarmed if they.
What do they know?
I feel like the biggest ones are definitely McNeese State over Gonzaga.
Yep,
for sure.
Yep.
I think James Madison over Wisconsin. Texas A&M over Nebraska, but 8-9 is not really a what do you think the lowest upset that actually happens is? The highest,
like a 13-4.
Is there?
That's what you're talking about, like the biggest parity in games?
Yeah,
I would say I think we should go through that.
15.
Morehead State.
Do you think any of the 16 seeds actually have a chance?
I thought it was going to be Howard, but after that,
also I hate to quote I feel like we talk Barstool a little bit sometimes, but I was listening to part of my take this morning. And since 2021, so a long time ago, each school that's a bottom 2 seed or like a 15 or 16 seed that has some sort of phallic reference in their name has upset who they played. So that's Oral Roberts, St. Peter's. Last year was Fairleigh Dickinson, and then we have Longwood against Houston.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, and St. Peter's again.
I don't hate the Longwood pick.
No, so just food for thought.
That's if I can give you some food for thought, that's never going to happen. But
yeah, I'm with you, but yeah,
clip this up, clip it up, and if it happens, I don't know what
quoting Barstool directly. And then,
and then you got 15 seeds. I mean, St. Peter's, Tennessee. It's happened before.
God, my coworker might actually just like kick the bucket.
Western, I don't know. I think a sneaky pick could be Western Kentucky over Marquette.
I was gonna say that's the most attractive to me of the 15.
Shaka Smart has not made it to the second weekend since VCU.
Yeah,
that's right. Long Beach.
I think
don't sleep on that one.
That's a Narrative Nation one.
That is a very Narrative Nation.
That'd be cool. Also, the best mascots, the Dirtbags.
That's true.
Yeah.
South Dakota State, Iowa State wouldn't surprise me, but shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I agree. South Dakota State is.
And then 14 seeds, Colgate over Baylor. No. Morehead State over Illinois.
It looks appetizing, but I did just rave about Baylor.
Morehead State's got that phallic reference, but they're not a bottom 2. They're not a 15 or 16. Yeah.
Oakland over Kentucky, I wouldn't be surprised, but shouldn't happen.
I do feel like Oakland.
Yeah, I got a feeling
Oakland
about
is an
Oakland.
interesting one. They've been very chalky. They've won a lot of games. That would not surprise me.
What I say about the Zips? They sound like a team.
Yeah,
they sound like a team,
but Creighton. I
know Creighton is.
Everything about it is like, don't pick Akron over.
Yeah, but fuck, do I want to pick Akron?
I think I can guarantee 2-13 upsets.
Wow.
Interesting.
I think Charleston wipes Alabama. I don't think Alabama's that
good.
Also, Nate Oates is a scumbag. So that'd be fun.
And then I'm very confident in Samford over Kansas.
See, I'm way more confident in that one than Alabama Charleston. I just think like Charleston has the same guys as last year, but they don't have the same juice. They were never like they're not as good as a 12 seed Charleston from last year.
No, but I think Pat Kelsey is a very talented coach, and I'm just trying to find what their past playoffs have looked like. So they haven't won since 97, but last year they flirted with the upset with San Diego State, who ended up going to the championship.
But did Pat Kelsey win with Winthrop? I feel like he won a game with Winthrop.
I remember Winthrop doing some damage back in the day.
Let's find out.
Big South, right? Are they Big South?
Winthrop is the Big South. Yeah, he was the Big South Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
He had technically 3 appearances. Obviously, 2020 got canceled. That round is 64. I don't have the Winthrop. Why can't I find
Winthrop it? But Pat Kelsey's 0-3 in tournament games.
Yeah, so that answers that.
Winthrop, I think, was a 12 that year. Who the hell did they play? They played Winthrop. Oh, it was Villanova. Remember that?
2017 Villanova?
That was the no, it was 2021, the COVID year, where it was a 5-12 matchup, and everyone's like, Winthrop is gonna beat them, like very confidently, and then they lost by 10.
Winthrop was kind of on their Colgate Vermont shit back in the early 2000s. From 2000 to 2008, they made 7 tournament appearances.
Fuck, that's right.
No, include 99 too. 99 to 2008, 8 appearances.
This was Greg Marshall's work. Who
Yeah.
went on to coach at Wichita State and basically did the same shit. Remember?
Yep. Randy Peel had a couple of appearances, and then Pat Kelsey in 2017.
I don't know. Who's Randy Peel again? He went to he's an assistant at Texas Southern as of 2 years ago.
Oh boy, he fell off.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I remember that clear as day. That Greg Marshall, like all the Wichita and Kentucky games and stuff. Like Greg Marshall was. I forgot that originated at Winthrop. Wow.
Greg Marshall and Tom Crean got a little bit of like a
they're sort of
separated at birth thing going on.
Tom Crean. They got like the slick back hair, the small glasses.
Yeah.
I see what you're after there. I think the most likely 14 upset, though, to your point, is Oakland, Kentucky. That's where I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, I'm with it.
4-13. I just don't know about Samford. I don't know about him. I want him to beat Kansas, and I feel like Kansas. Oh, Kansas doesn't have Kevin McCullough too.
Mm-hmm.
He's out.
That's what I'm saying. I love the Samford pick. I love it.
Well, we've got chalky brackets. Any closing thoughts on March Madness before we bring this home?
Just the Zips, baby.
We'll catch you in 2 weeks when the Huskies win and James is
sending James to Phoenix.
I'm just talking my shit, standing on business, man.
James, you will be. You might have to take some time off work. You're going to Phoenix if they go.
Yeah. Oh God.
You went last year. I forgot.
I went last year. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
Would you go to Phoenix again, like on a whim, like you did this year?
It's TBD. I might have some stuff going on that weekend, but
can we send you with a GoPro on the parade or parties on campus?
We'll talk.
Sideline reporter.
We'll talk.
I would if you sideline reported, that would be pretty cool.
All right, we'll talk. Just really quick, Dick Blumenthal broke his leg at the UConn.
Oh yeah, Dick
the national championship parade last year. Senator of Connecticut. I just needed to say that.
That's right.
I
don't wish harm upon anybody, but it was ironic.
No, but it was really funny. All right, that's my party thought.
Adult injuries are
adult politician, like politician who should be retired injury. Really funny.
Like above the age of how old is he?
Let's see.
Because I don't want to make fun of somebody who's much older.
78.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He's old. He's to the point.
I was gonna say,
but it was 77 when it happened.
I was gonna say over 65. Like if you were 50 and you broke your leg, like that's questionable to lead, a congressional district. In my opinion,
you just got to drink your milk, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, but like over 65, I get it. If you're 50, you would not be getting my vote in the next.
Yeah, go to the doctor.
Cycle.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's a tough
osteoporosis.
Oh shit. All right, very chalky bracket this year. Make sure you head to Rithmm, one place for your AI-backed sports wagers. You could take your bets on Rithmm and place them on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code BBB to get all kinds of bonus bets. Download the Rithmm app. Use the code in our bio or the link in our bio. Download it. Get your free 7-day trial of Rithmm. That's the end of this episode. Thanks for hanging out with us. So long, everybody.
Take it easy.